Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Up Close and Personal with your host Mannie, and we are here live at the N.A.T studios. And today, like we usually do on the Up Close and Personal episodes and podcasts, we bring in very interesting people, and we would like to walk you through their lives and their inspirations behind them changing lives and adding value to the society. And today, I have someone you definitely should meet and know, and his name is Mr. Zadok. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm great, thank you.
Oh my goodness. So I heard about what you're doing in the space, which is why I'm really interested in meeting you. For those who don't know, he is a business consultant. What else do you do?
Well, I'm a business consultant, and right now I'm following my passion, which is Unspoken, a podcast about men and what men think that they really do not voice out, because society has a particular this expectation of what masculinity should be. What is expected of men, and then when you don't conform, is either you're seen as a simp, a crybaby, or as someone who's just not up to standards.
No, that's very, very interesting. So Unspoken, the podcast itself. First thing I want to ask you, it's a very, very interesting name, because it really, really drives that whole idea that there's some things that men need to voice out more. What was the drive or the inspiration exactly behind it? Who did you look at, or what exact incident did you really look at and was like, I need to really start this kind of thing?
At a particular point in my life, I went through a depression.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, because at that point I had lost my business. I took out loans, and there was I was trying to get a foothold, and it wasn't easy, because the thing is, it was hard explaining to people. Back then I was into poultry, and it was a commercial production.
Okay.
And then there was bird flu, and then it came and wiped out my flock.
Oh my goodness.
So how do you explain to people you lost about over 1,000 birds and so much money?
That was millions. The birds themselves, I'm thinking about also, the food, everything I've invested in them.
These were birds that they were about 60 weeks or more. So they were laying already. I was just trying to recoup my investment, and then, you just come to farm, you just find 100 or 150. And then at that point, you're trying to talk to people. But the thing is, people were not, those I was feeling I could talk to, they were not getting me. People just say, maybe you're a bad business practice. They didn't say man up. Yeah, it happens.
Take it to the
life. Yeah, it happens in life. You pick yourself up. But the thing is, they didn't know how dark it went for me at that point in time. Yeah. And then later on, when I started getting my feedback, I started reaching out a couple of friends. I found out they've gone through similar process. Some have lost their businesses, some lost their marriages, some lost loved ones. And, they can't really talk about it because of what society expects from them.
Okay. And
then, it is what's been killing them inside. And until when they see someone who's gone through a particular loss like them, and then feels, this person is on the same platform, same level with me.
Okay.
They're able to share feelings with you. I'm like, guy, this is that. And you'll be like, wow. So you went through all this alone. Was there no support system? Like, who I want for real talk? The society expects me to be a man.
And take everything
and move on with life. And that's just what inspired Unspoken, what men think.
Wow. Okay. So if I heard you correctly, this whole process you went through, which I'm sure wasn't really the easiest of process, very, very, that whole dark phase of your life. If you're trying to get that to that point where you can say to people, this is my story. This is other people's story. If it can inspire you, if it can motivate you to do better, if you had at that point in time someone you could look at who was telling you that, okay, I've been through this, this is steps I took, this is what it feels like when you're vulnerable to voice out, to at least feel better and get yourself in that positive mindset, you could do far more. Is that what you think?
Yes, I think I would have had a better recovery time. I would have I wouldn't have got through depression, because at that point in time, I got funding from the Central Bank of Nigeria. I got funding from my parents. I got funding from people close to me. So imagine you're losing so much money, you're owing people, and then for some people, you lost the business. It doesn't concern them. You have to return the money.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, so the recovery period, if there was somebody I could just walk up to at that point and tell them, oh, yeah, this is how you manage things. It took me time to start discovering, you need to go back to the bank and do your own, restructure your loans.
Yeah.
Tell them how you are going to repay now. because now I do not have a business that's going to pay back. Means I have to work to pay back those amounts. So it took me about 4 or 5 years to get back on track, even though I have not gone back to business services then. So
Okay.
so for me, but it's a business I really want to go back to. But if I had somebody to inspire me at that point in time, I think my recovery would have been faster. So instead of the 4 or 5 years, probably I would just need a year or two to bounce back and then get back into business and reposition myself.
Okay, now that's very great. Let me ask you something very, very important. Your process for recovery that you just mentioned, can you like walk me through it in terms of the emotional part? Because I think the Unspoken, the podcast, what men think is going to be facing more of the emotional as pressures of men. So like what was the process like for you to actually make through that recovery?
Well, at the time is first thing I had to do was, because when I did slip into that dark phase, at the point I just had to call myself to that, like, dude, yes, this has happened now. What's the way forward? And then looking at the way forward, looking at how things have happened, what I did to myself was just, first of all, is I needed clarity.
Okay.
So, and what I had to do was, I got down on my knees, I got praying, and I got thinking and researching. So, and that's why I found out, oh, yes, you could always restructure your facility. Even if you have a failed business, you could find a way to restructure your facility. And the first thing I did was reach out to those I was owing. I'm like, okay, I would like to, I've lost my business. I would like to restructure my facility. This is what I can afford now. So it's going to take a longer time for me to pay back, but this is what I want to do so as to clear my name. So it shows intent that I'm not running away with the money. Even though the business has failed, I can as well say, the business has failed, I can repay you.
Yeah, I guess that also showed your integrity to the guys.
Yes, it also showed that, yes, I have them in mind and I'm trying to be an upstanding citizen in what I do.
Okay, now let's go back to the Unspoken itself. Who are like your target audience? I know it's men, but is there a particular facet of the man space that you are targeting?
Men generally. I think the thing is this now. We have the thing is, people talk about, every day you'll find programs for women, you find empowerment programs, you find people talking about gender equality.
Yes.
But the thing is, the man society just has high expectation, and nobody's
Go out
talking
and
about
make it.
what men really go through.
Okay.
A whole lot of men go through abuse, and they can't come out to say, "Oh, I'm going through abuse," because people will tell you, "Man up, you're the man. You're meant to be able to take it."
Or did you enjoy it?
Didn't you enjoy it? You know, there are lots of crazy things that men are going through. There's societal pressure. There's family pressure. There's expectations. Even when you go to a place of worship, there are certain expectations from you. If I feel like, oh yes, at this age, at this time, at this strata of you being, you're in this society, this is what's expected of you.
Yeah.
And nobody is asking you what is even going on in the head of yours. How are you feeling? Are you okay? They just assume that at this point in time, you should have achieved, you should
This
have
or
done
that.
this and that. And then that puts pressure on men. And that's why you find out that the highest number of people who commit suicide are men.
Yeah.
Because they get to that point where
No support system.
there's no support system. They can't even talk. Now, when you see men try to even talk and they express their feelings, they try to be emotional. Is a simp, is a crybaby.
Yeah.
You know, those are things that make men just
want to bottle it up.
They bottle it up, and then when they can't take it any longer, they just end it. And that's what we say. That's what we said Unspoken, that, see, you don't need to end it. There are men who have gone through what you're going through, and they can help you heal. Sometimes all you just need to do is just find people who have gone through what you've gone through, and bond, and then ask questions, open up, and you feel much better. And then it also gives you a better path to recovery. Like I explained, my process of losing my business and then trying to get myself back on track. But Unspoken now gives you a platform where you can meet men who have experienced something similar, and then it gives you a better recovery time.
Okay. Now we are speaking off camera, and you told me about your list of things you want to also teach men, because it wasn't for you. I think what you was trying to tell me was it's not just about catering to the emotional needs. It's like teaching men, some certain things, like men that are coming up. I feel like people that are making mistakes, people that haven't seen things from a certain perspective, you want to teach, you want to groom. So what would be the results that you would currently start seeing, or you would start seeing that make you be like, I think I'm very, very happy, or I'm successful?
What would make me really happy is when we start getting reviews of people saying, "Oh yes, because of your podcast, because of the guest you bring on here, I've learnt this, I've imbibed this in my life, and my life is now better. I feel much better. Oh, thank you for just bringing this person on. Thank you for talking about this topic. I was at the point where I needed to make a decision in my life, and the topic you handled and the way you handle it has helped me make a better decision."
Yeah.
And, that's really what's going to make me happy.
Oh, wow.
The fact that people are being able to learn lessons and then imbibe it in their lives.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Mr. Zadok.
Yes, Zadok.
Zadok, yes, Mr. Zadok. Now, just for the viewers who are going to be watching this, where should they expect to see your pod happen? Where would they be seeing it?
Yes, it's going to be on our YouTube page and our social media pages. And yes, of course, they should follow Age. They will always find it.
Perfect. Yeah, beautiful. So it's been a fun time and having Mr. Zadok. But before I let you go, there's a game we like to play here. Currently, I'm 3 to 4 or 2 to 3. I think we like to play 2 truths and a lie. So my job is to find out the lie. And then I was going for a near perfect record, but so your job is to tell me 3 things about yourself, 3 interesting facts. I would try to pick out which one is the lie. Are you for it?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right. 3 interesting things. 2 wives.
Okay.
3 children.
Okay.
4 degrees.
Oh, wow. Okay, so first let's analyze this. Let me put on my thinking hat or my thinking cap. If you mention 2 wives and kids, it means definitely you're married. So one of them has to be more of the lie. It can't be the degrees part. Because you mentioned kids, he said, how many kids?
3 kids.
3 kids. I think you don't have 2 wives.
You're correct.
You're correct. Yes. Because let me know, like, that's a lot. In Nigerian society, man, having 2 wives right now in the economy, I would be like, bro, come and show me the way.
Well, maybe those who end up with 2 wives, maybe they never really planned it. Sometimes it's just
things happen. Yeah?
Things happen. Yeah.
Or they planned it and they liked it like that. Yes,
some want it that way. Some things happen. The thing is just, like we say, just find whatever makes you happy as lawful.
Shout out to you. All right, Mr. Zadok, it's been wonderful having you. You guys should follow Zadok, get to hear more on Spoken. I hope I'm going to be on one of your pods. At least let's talk about many things, please.
Definitely, you have to be there because we need people who are as versatile as you are.
All right, thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a wonderful time for me and the team at the N.A.T TV podcast. Thank you for joining us. We have so much more content coming your way from the team and I. See you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.